My understanding is that in the West, these subtle energies only became known to many people decades after scientists began to discover the quantum world in the early 1900s. Newton's laws about the clockwork universe, seeing the universe as a machine with fixed, predictable laws, focused on the macro world, the outer physical world that he could see. When scientists began to learn about the micro world of atoms, with the understanding of quantum mechanics that tells us a world we cannot see exists in a state of probability and potential, so a paradigm shift began for those open to those teachings. As I delve a bit into the world of science today, I want to make clear I am not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination, and I just have no special knowledge, but I have become captivated by the discoveries of scientists who help us understand our world better, who we are, and where we might be going. As knowledge of the quantum world became more widely known, dozens of respected scientists demonstrated that all matter exists in a vast quantum web of connection, and that an information transfer is constantly going on between living things and their environment. In the book Science and the Akashic Field, written by scientist Ervin Laszlo, who many consider one of the greatest thinkers of our time, links the best of this quantum world to the wisdom of the great spiritual traditions, explaining that mystics and sages have long maintained that there exists an interconnecting cosmic field at the roots of reality. Discoveries in vacuum physics show that this field is real and consists of a sea of fluctuating energy from which all things arise, atoms and galaxies, stars and planets, living beings, and they say even consciousness. This Akashic field is said to hold a record of all that has happened on Earth and in the cosmos, and relates to all that will happen in the future. Flower told us many interesting stories about the Akashic records. Laszlo quotes philosopher William James, "We are like islands in the sea, separate on the surface, but connected in the deep." A number of thinkers have tried to define specific stages of human consciousness, and while they differed somewhat, most of their outcomes have a common thread, the same thread that Flower had, that the evolution of our consciousness is going from being ego-bound to what is called transpersonal. Most of us know what our ego is, our personality self that focuses on me, me, me. But what does our evolution to transpersonal mean? We're told that a major focus of transpersonal theory is to understand the connection between the self and the divine consciousness, the higher consciousness. This connection in current scientific literature is called transpersonal. In his book, philosopher and scientist Ervin Laszlo explains that as our human consciousness evolves higher, it could produce greater empathy among people, greater sensitivity to plants, to animals, and the entire biosphere. It could even create subtle contact with the rest of the cosmos. He says when a critical mass of humans evolves to a transpersonal level of consciousness, a higher civilization is likely to emerge with deeper solidarity and a higher sense of justice and responsibility. Would that that comes soon. He says this is not guaranteed. He says evolution is never fully predictable, but if humankind does not destroy its life-supporting environment and decimate its numbers, the dominant consciousness of a critical mass will create a quantum leap in the evolution of civilization.